Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of D-Class personnel. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Commander and I'm here to brief you on the SCP you're going to be studying. What we're looking at today, SCP-4963, Object Class Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-4963 has been secured within a 1 kilometer squared area in its location within Yellowstone National Park, with a perimeter consisting of electrified fencing no less than 3 meters in height, topped with barbed wire. Interaction with SCP-4963-2 instances should never be conducted if the initiation of the interaction was performed by Foundation personnel. Personnel should only enter SCP-4963 with the intent of further exploration and/or the survey of SCP-4963-1 instances. If interaction has been initiated by an SCP-4963-2 instance, the instance is to be tranquilized. Description: SCP-4963 is a semi-transparent space-time anomaly in the shape of an equilateral triangle which acts as an entryway into an extra-dimensional area, hereby referred to as SCP-4963-1, resembling a tundra. SCP-4963 is suspended 0.5 meters into the air, with each of the portal sides measuring 17.1 meters in length. SCP-4963-1 appears to be endless and has a consistently altering geography while mostly remaining flat. SCP-4963-1's altering geography usually consists of a variety of irregular lodges made by native entities that are theorized to live within, hereby deemed SCP-4963-2 instances. SCP-4963-1's most notable anomalous property is an effect which heavily limits visibility within itself. Due to this effect, subjects who enter SCP-4963-1 are only able to see approximately 25 meters in any direction, with the sight leading into complete darkness following said distance in a manner similar to the way in which a flashlight operates. SCP-4963-2 are sapient, typically clothed humanoid entities extremely similar in appearance to a standard human male. The only differences between regular humans and SCP-4963-2 instances are the instance's extremely pale skin, lack of eyes, and irregular mouth. The mouths of SCP-4963-2 instances are entirely void of teeth, gums, a tongue, and other things commonly found in the mouths of sapient organisms. The mouths of SCP-4963-2 instances do not reflect any light, appearing to consist solely of darkness. Upon an SCP-4963-2 instance noticing a human subject, said instance will calmly approach the subject and emit a continuous vocalization similar in sound to radio static. Occasionally, these vocalizations will change from their ordinary sound to either the voices of multiple individuals or a radio broadcast. Upon a varying amount of time of constant vocalization from the SCP-4963-2 instance, the entity will slowly proceed to go into a fetal position on the ground near the subject. Said instance will then rock in place, a motion commonly partnered with trembling. Addendum 4963-1. Official Initial Exploration. Upon the discovery of SCP-4963, a single D-Class personnel had been deployed into SCP-4963 with the intent of survey of SCP-4963-1. The subject was equipped with a head-mounted camera capable of recording and replaying video and sound. The following is a transcript of the exploration. Begin log. For the sake of brevity, this transcript begins approximately 2 minutes and 16 seconds into the recording. D-18219 has already entered SCP-4963 at this point in time. Due to SCP-4963-1's primary anomalous property, the visual recording is extremely dark and can only appear to pick up whatever is directly in front of D-18219. Just for the sake of quickness, hereby referred to as just D on the transcript. D. Holy fuck, it's cold. Dr. Callahan. D-18219, please continue in any direction of your choice. D, okay. Do me a favor, yeah? Dr. Callahan, yeah? D, the next person you send in here, send him with a jacket. Like, seriously. The sound of Dr. Callahan chuckling briefly can be heard. Dr. Callahan, all right, please continue. D begins to walk in a straight line directly from SCP-4963. Dr. Callahan, D-18219, please describe what you see. D, well, if I'm frank with you, Doc, I don't see shit. It's all fucking dark except for the flashlight beam thing in front of me. Just like when you said when D stops talking as a set of trees come into view of the camera. D-18219 looks up in an attempt to find the top of the tree, but the anomalous light source does not reach the top of any tree. Dr. Callahan, D-18219, D, yeah, sorry, I found some really skinny trees. They're tall, Doc. I can't see the top. Just darkness after about 70 feet or so. Dr. Callahan, how many do you see? D, 6? In a hexagon shape, almost like a perimeter or something, except there's nothing in the middle. I feel like there should be. It just doesn't look right, Doc. I don't know what it is about it. This is making me really uneasy. Dr. Callahan, please continue. D begins to walk away from the trees to the left. He continues walking as he speaks. D, so what is all this? I mean, yeah, you told me what it does and stuff and all that, but what is it? Dr. Callahan, that's classified. D, you're really sending me into a place where only a few other people entered when they found it, and you're not going to tell me what exactly that place is? I think it's only fair, man. Dr. Callahan, sorry, I don't feel like losing my job today. D, fair enough, I guess. D continues to walk for 37 seconds and then gasps, stopping in place. A wall constructed of wood and logs blocks his path. Dr. Callahan, D-18219, are you okay? What do you see? D, yeah, sorry, I'm all right. Yeah, sorry, I'm all right. Just didn't expect a fucking wooden wall to appear out of nowhere. Scared me a little bit. Dr. Callahan, does the wall appear to be a part of something, like a building possibly? D looks up, showing a roof-like structure on top of the wall. D, yeah, could be. Want me to see if it's actually a building? Dr. Callahan, yes, please. D begins to walk alongside the perimeter of the wall. It stretches approximately 30 meters before turning, creating a corner. D, it's a building. Dr. Callahan, can you find a door? D, I'll try. D takes 4 steps and then stops. A window comes into view attached to the building. The window's boarded up next to a door leading inside. D, do you hear that? What the fuck is that? Dr. Callahan, I can't hear anything. What do you hear? D, static. It's coming from inside. I can hear it through the window and through the door. Dr. Callahan, do you hear anything else? D, I hear wind blowing. It just started now. Shit. That does not help the already fucking freezing temperature. Nothing else, though. I'll consider myself lucky. Dr. Callahan, seems appropriate to do. D-18219, can you see through the window? D, barely. There's boards blocking it up like something you'd see in a zombie movie. It's making it really hard to see. Wait, I see a weird light, getting stronger and then weaker and stronger again, almost like a flashlight running out of batteries. I can't make out where it's coming from, though. Dr. Callahan, have you found a door? D, yeah, it's right next to the window. Dr. Callahan, please attempt to open it. D, you're kidding. Dr. Callahan, I'm afraid I'm not. D-18219, attempt to open the door, please. D, come on, man. Dr. Callahan, you're aware of the consequences of being insubordinate. Open the door. D, D stammers, takes multiple deep breaths, and then suddenly grabs the handle, attempting to twist it. The handle moves to the left and then stops halfway through. D appears unable to make it go any further. D, it's locked, man. Dr. Callahan, are there any other entrances? D, doesn't look like it, but I can look around. Dr. Callahan, please do so. D walks around the perimeter of the building. The only possible entrances are windows which have been boarded up. D, nope, just more windows. Dr. Callahan, all right, continue then. D begins to walk away from the building. D, do you know what the fuck that was? Dr. Callahan, truthfully, no. That's the first time we've seen something like that. D, oh boy, I sure do love being the guinea pig. This place is so fucking weird. I just keep walking and it feels like empty. I've only run into 2 things and it's been what, 10, 15 minutes? Seriously, man, place gives me the creeps. I don't like it one bit, Doc. I don't like it, man. I don't like it. Dr. Callahan, please continue. D, yeah, I'm walking. The sound of a door opening and then slamming shut can be heard from behind D. He turns around in an attempt to locate the origin of the noise. Nothing can be seen from the camera. D, Doc, what do I do, man? Dr. Callahan, head towards the origin of the slam. D, fuck no, are you kidding? He is now audibly whispering. Look, I tried to open that door before and fought back all my instincts, but there is no fucking way I'm going to go towards that damn thing that just... Suddenly, an SCP-4963-2 instance begins to sprint toward D from the direction of the sound. D shouts as SCP-4963-2 begin a vocalization. D quickly begins to sprint in the direction he was originally traveling. D, holy shit, holy fucking shit, oh my god. Dr. Callahan, what is it? D, it's a fucking thing, dude. I don't know. It's fucking screaming in like static. It's fast. The SCP-4963-2 instance gradually picks up speed, eventually reaching a point where said instance is directly behind D. D, no, fuck, it's right behind me. I can hear the fucking static, like it's a whisper in my ear. God, help me. The SCP-4963-2 instance violently tackles D from behind, getting on top of the subject and vocalizing directly into D's face. The instance's static vocalizations alter into what sounds like to be a radio broadcast as this occurs. SCP-4963-2. In between static, it says, 2 bodies found in Yellowstone National Park. Deep lacerations cover the victims. A large tooth was found within one of the victims' chest cavity. Taking in for further study. Police say that the incident is a bear attack, though doesn't match the tooth of any known animal. Investigations are ongoing. D punches the instance in the temple, causing a loud crack to be heard. The instance suddenly falls off of D and enters a fetal position on the ground. D stands near the instance, attempting to catch his breath. D, fuck you too. I'm getting the fuck out of here. Dr. Callahan, D-18219, are you all right? Any injuries? D, I don't think so. Nothing bleeding, at least. There's no way I don't have bruises, though. That thing tackled me hard. Dr. Callahan, do you remember which direction you came from? D, roughly. Dr. Callahan, begin walking in that direction. You'll be extracted by a mobile task force personnel with... A loud, violent roar can be heard in the distance. D jumps in place, seemingly from fear. He begins to sprint in the direction of SCP-4963. Dr. Callahan, D-18219, get the hell out of there. D, I'm fucking trying, Doc. D spots SCP-4963 and accelerates in speed, sprinting through and entering baseline reality. End log. Afterward, following investigation by Dr. Callahan and the remainder of the SCP-4963 research team, it was discovered that the broadcast from SCP-4963-2 instance did not actually occur. Addendum 4963.2 Mobile Task Force Exploration. Following the incident of SCP-4963's initial exploration, Mobile Task Force Delta 14, Dynamic Triumphs Over Static, was sent into SCP-4963-1 with the intent of further surveying the area whilst armed for defensive purposes. The following is a transcript of the incident. Begin log. The mounted head cams on 4 Delta 14 agents activate. The footage begins with the agent standing near SCP-4963 with the SCP-4963 research team spectating. The agents are carrying firearms and have large military-grade backpacks on their backs which appear to be completely full. Riley, Stating names for the record. Delta 14 JCO Riley reporting. Yeps. Delta 14 Agent Yeps reporting. Pi. Delta 14 Agent Pi reporting. Neve. Delta 14 Agent Neve reporting. Riley. All right, that's all of us. Entrance to SCP-4963 begins in 3, 2, 1. All 4 agents step through SCP-4963 and enter SCP-4963-1. Similarly to the initial exploration, the cameras mounted on each of the agents' heads seem to have lower visibility than the personnel themselves. The agents quickly enter a diamond formation and raise their weaponry, flicking the safety off to their firearms simultaneously. After 11 seconds of silence, JCO Riley speaks. Riley, clear. The agents lower their weapons with the safety remaining disengaged. Riley, let's head out. This place is always changing, so I'd assume it doesn't really matter what direction we go in. Neve, make the call. The 4 agents disembark to the right and begin to cautiously navigate SCP-4963-1. Pi, did you all hear that? Neve, no? Yeps, me neither. Riley, what you hearing, Pi? Pi, static. Static, I think, in the direction we're headed. Riley makes eye contact with the other 2 agents while nodding, signaling them to raise their weapons. The agents aim their firearms while Pi slowly does the same. Once all agents have their weapons risen, Delta 14 continues forward in the supposed direction. After 3 consecutive minutes of advancing in the same direction, the agents stop. Yeps. That's a tree. Neve. Trees. They're multiple. The agents take a few steps closer toward the collection of trees, allowing the camera to view them. Pi, I don't hear it anymore. There's nothing, just the wind. Wait, was there wind a second ago? Riley, no. Neve, there's an absolutely fucking awful smell. What is that? Yeps takes multiple steps forward towards the trees while the remaining agents keep their weapons aimed. Yeps suddenly stops. Yeps, this. The remaining Delta 14 personnel walks towards Yeps, revealing the heavily mutated SCP-4963-2 instance. The instance is laying on its stomach with no movement. Flies surround the area. Riley, Jesus Christ. Neve, requesting permission to examine the corpse. Riley, granted. Just be careful. Neve slowly crouches down next to the SCP-4963-2 instance. Suddenly, the instance turns over, still on the ground, and begins a vocalization. Neve jumps and quickly aims down the weapon at the instance while the other 3 agents do the same. SCP-4963-2 in between static says, begin log. State your reason for your homicidal tendencies. SCP-4963, simply survival. Afraid we cannot do that. What? No. SCP-4963, we cannot just... Class containment breach. All personnel. In between the static, a siren can be heard. Neve, what in God's name? Riley, Yeps, try and contact the research team. Is something going on? Yeps, on it. Yeps pulls up a Foundation-issued PDA from within his backpack. He begins to type on it. After 37 seconds of typing, pausing and typing again, Yeps looks back up from the PDA. Yeps, it's all clear over here. Say, we don't happen to have another SCP-4963, do we? Riley, no, absolutely not. I don't know why a broadcast of something like that would ever be transmitted if it's non-existent. Neve, the other transmission was like that too, just not real. The SCP-4963-2 instance suddenly begins to vocalize once more, with the broadcast-like speech being much more distorted and a collection of voices rather than one. SCP-4963-2, in between static. We are being hunted. The SCP-4963-2 instance goes entirely limp and completely halts all vocalizations. End log. Now, this is a Foundation Medical Department report. The author is Dr. Callahan. Date, January 25th, 2019. File category, autopsy corpse examination. Subjects involved and the status of subjects, or unidentified/deceased. Body. At 12:03 a.m., January 25, 2019, Mobile Task Force Delta 19, the dynamic triumphs over static, was deployed to investigate an apparent loud crash and screaming around the perimeter of SCP-4963's containment heard by junior researcher Kenneth W. Upon arrival at the location reported by researcher Kenneth W., Delta 19 discovered 2 recently deceased bodies which appeared to have been mauled by a large animal. The animal was presumed to be a bear until a tooth measuring approximately 12.7 centimeters was found within one of the deceased subject's chest cavity. Upon further DNA analysis, the tooth which the organism belonged to did not match with the teeth of any creatures within the Foundation database. The 2 deceased subjects had been heavily dismembered with multiple limbs alongside long strips of intestines stretching across the area around them. Due to their heavily damaged status, the 2 subjects were unable to be identified. Further investigation is pending. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was SCP-4963. You are dismissed.